And hello there, folks. This is Uncle Troy. Today we are playing Feed the Beast MindCrack Edition, continuing our video tutorial. I believe this will be video 9. And if it's uploaded out of sequence, I'm sorry, but apparently I am too advanced and I'm not telling you the basics that you need to do the things that I'm showing you. Apparently when somebody writes in and says, Uncle Troy, how do you program a turtle? They don't mean like a step-by-step instruction on the proper way to put a program into the turtle. They mean like how do you open up the editor and how do you get files in from an outside source. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the basics. So let's put away some stuff. Let's go into our little base here. Let's try to search and see if we have the raw materials we need to make a turtle. We're going to need some glass. We're going to need some smooth stone. We're going to need some redstone. We're going to need some iron. Let's see, do we see any iron here? Regular old iron. We're going to need a chest. Let's see. I think that's everything. Okay, first you're going to do, you're going to find some glass. You're going to find some sand that smelt some glass, and you're going to make some glass panes, because a computer looks something a little like this. And I always do it wrong the first time because it seems to me the glass pane should be in the center. There you have a computer. Now, to place the computer, you just find a nice convenient surface and right click. And it says you're in Craft OS. If you hit the ID, it tells you this is computer number 10. Now the very first thing you should do is label your computer. And you do that with the label command, label set. And I'm going to call this Turtle X. Alright, cannot touch top today. Turtle X. There we go. Now if you enter the ID command, it says this computer number 10, this computer is labeled Turtle X. Labeling is very important. If the turtle is not labeled, it will forget programs, it will forget everything else. So that is our computer is now labeled. Now, we want the computer to move around, so we have to give it legs. And the easiest way to give a computer legs is to make it wear pants. You think I'm joking, but look, pants. Then we want to, oops, I almost forgot something here. Ruined my clever little thing here. We want the computer to be able to hold stuff, so we need to give it a chest. And only a wooden chest will work. Now, we give the computer legs. We give the computer something to hold. And then we put the computer right in the middle of it, and now we have a turtle. So computer is going to turn into a turtle. Now the first thing you need to do with a turtle, put it down at a convenient location, log in, double check to make sure it still thinks it's the same computer. It is, good. And now we need to fuel the turtle. And turtles will use wood, saplings, coal, charcoal, lava, pretty much anything you can burn in a furnace. The turtle's current fuel level is 0. And if we put in and say refuel, it will try to refuel from the slot that's highlighted here, the little picture frame. It used 1 piece of charcoal, and the fuel level is now 80, which means it can move 80 spaces. Now since I now have all this charcoal, I like to just give it a full stack and usually say 64. And actually you can give it like a very higher number. It'll just use all of it. So now this computer can move 5,012 spaces. You can also use an electrical charging station, but that's for a future date. So now the turtle can move. We'll use the dance command. Alright, so obviously the turtle has fuel and can move. So we're good. Now, let's set it at a convenient place. If you type dir, D-I-R, or ls, that shows you the files. Now, currently the only thing we have in here is the read-only memory, and that's a directory. CD changes the directory. Change directory to ROM. And now we have some other directories. We've got APIs, help, program, and then the startup. See, it's not a directory. Now, how you're supposed to tell that, I don't know, because it's written the same as the others. To make changes to a program or create a new one, you type edit followed by the program name. And this tells you all the various stuff that it does when it starts out. And I'm not going to go step by step through this program because I don't know most of it myself. First time I've ever looked at it, just for you. The turtle has its own built-in directory and you got all these different commands you can type. Alright, so we got craft, dance, excavate, go, refuel, that's the one we were using earlier to check the thing, tunnel, built-in tunnel command, and turn. So, oops, wrong button. Alright, so you don't have to write a program to tell the computer to do things. You can say go back 4 spaces. And it does. You can say go down, and he did. Now we can say go down again, and in this case he can't because there's a block under him, so he just sits there running that program over and over. To terminate a program, you want to hold down Control T for about a second. Chick, there it goes. Otherwise he'll sit there forever trying to go down. Now let's type the refuel command, and as you can see, before we had 5120, now we got 5107 because we've moved about 13 spaces between the down command and this stuff. To turn him around, you're going to say turn left. See, he's now facing this direction. Turn right. Now he's facing the other direction. See how easy that is? So if you get your turtle and you're wanting to like place him or something, and you realize, oops, he's supposed to be down one from there, just say go down. And now he's where you want him to be. Now unfortunately the turtle can't do too much because he's doesn't have any tools. And usually I make my turtles into mining turtles. Let's see here. We will use, what do we have the most of? Looks like diamonds, but just to show that you can, we will make this one out of green sapphire. You can make turtle tools out of diamonds, rubies, sapphires, or green sapphires. The rubies, sapphires, and green sapphires do not have as much durability as the diamonds, and they cannot mine obsidian. So if you have tons of diamonds like this, go ahead and make a diamond pickaxe. Now you can also make a shovel, you can make a hoe, you can make a axe, or you can make a sword. And you can equip the turtle with all these different things. But a turtle equipped with a shovel cannot, for example, mine through rock. And a turtle equipped with a hoe can only hoe up cropland. So currently, as it's written, the pickaxe is the best because it can do about anything. If you have let me show you. If you have a pickaxe, of course, you can mine through stone, pick it up. Now you can mine through grass and pick it up, and you can chop a tree. Because I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. But that takes away durability faster than normal use, and it takes longer. Now for a turtle that doesn't really matter because a turtle currently does not have durability on its tools, and currently anything it can do, it does instantly when you tell it to dig. So we're going to go to the Lua prompt, interactive prompt. This allows us to type in turtle API commands immediately. Turtle dig down. It returns true, and it puts what it dug in my inventory. And the turtle's inventory will go just like a chest exploding when you break them. Dig down. Now, one of my computer programming teachers a long time ago, when trying to describe functions, which is what pretty much anytime you see a little parentheses after something, that's a function. He says the purpose of a function is to return a value, true, false, what 3 plus 5 is, etc. And then it has a side effect. Now the side effect is usually what you're looking for. So in this case, print hello world returned a 1. And that's what its purpose is according to him. Now this, as a side effect, it printed hello world to the screen. And that's how he described functions, because later when you get into a more complicated function, you'll have to you'll be calling functions and checking to make sure that they did what they were supposed to do. This turtle has several programs already installed. Now, what happens if you want to get a program off the computer or on the computer? Turtle's just a computer that moves. But like I said, you can create a new program, edit, we'll call this blank. Here's our editor. Dot dot or dash dash is a comment. Control, save, control, exit. Now if we list the files, or DR, in addition to ROM, we've got blank. Now we can run blank by just typing in blank, but since blank doesn't do anything, it just drops us back to the command prompt. Now suppose you wanted to copy blank to another program. We had it on this, or another turtle, or computer. We've got it on this turtle, but we want it on this turtle. And to do that, you need a disk drive, and a disk drive needs a disk. So I forget how to make those, so let's pull up our handy NEI thing. And apparently you make a floppy disk out of, let's see, we need a plain floppy disk. There we go. And apparently a floppy disk is a piece of paper and a piece of redstone, and then you can color it different colors. So we need a piece of paper and redstone. Do I have any paper? I have no paper. Alright, let's go find some reeds, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, that didn't take too long. It would have taken less time, but I kept trying to fly. I already have a jetpack build in one of my other worlds. Alright, we need us to make us some paper. I believe we do it like this. Yes. Cool. Alright, and it says paper plus redstone equals computer disk. Now, of course, to use a computer disk, you need a disk drive. Alright, so we've got us our floppy disk, we've got us a floppy disk drive. Now, we come over here, and we put down our turtle, and we put down our floppy disk drive. Now, oops, let me show you, before we do this, let me show you something. When you type list, you see all we have in this program is the ROM directory and the blank file we just created. So down the disk drive, notice how the disk drive is much bigger than the turtle. And the turtle, which contains a computer, is much smaller than a computer. I don't really know why. Now if we type list, it still says ROM and blank, but if we put a floppy disk in the disk drive, now we type list, now we've got a directory called disk. Now if we cd to disk, now it says we're in the disk directory, and if we list the directories, of course, there's no files in there yet, but let's go back up here to this. Alright, so we've got a blank program here. Now, the copy command is cp. So if we want to copy blank down to disk, and we'll keep the same file name, that's how we do it. And now, if we change directory to disk and type list or dir, interchangeable, now it says we have blank there. So now this disk, floppy disk, has the program blank on it. Now we just put this guy up here next to this turtle. Now he has a program on disk, cd, a directory called disk, cd over there, list it, there's blank. And to copy from that over to him, you type in something like copy blank. Now currently we're in the disk directory. So if our current directory is a dot and the directory above us is a dot dot. So I just said copy blank into the directory above us, which would be this directory up here. So if we change our directory back to that one and do a list, now we have blank here. So that is how you copy programs around with a turtle. There's also a command move, MV. And if you type the move command with the same type of parameters, then the file is copied and then erased from the original location. So you probably don't want to do that unless you're just, clearing a turtle out or something. Now these are standard Unix commands, standard old-timey DOS commands. So you need to research that yourself. I can't cover all of DOS and all of Unix for you. But if you get lost and you're like looking for something, what kind of commands do I have? Well, if you go into programs, CD, here's a lot of the stuff we just did. CD, or change directory, copy, which also works for CP, make directory. These are all things you can do. And notice help. And if you type something like help, move foobar renames the file foo to bar, move foobar / foo moves the file foo to a folder called bar, things like that. So that's how you're supposed to edit a program with the edit command. That's how you're supposed to copy programs. But what if you are wanting to load a program that somebody else has written and post it on the internet? Now we've got a program here called Pastebin. So if someone says, oh, well, I've uploaded this to Pastebin, here's the file ID, you would say something like Pastebin get the code and the file name. So code will look something like weird like that. And then you give it a file name like test. Now this is going to fail. Pastebin requires HTTP API. Set enable API to 1 in your mod ComputerCraft config. It's also going to fail because that wasn't a valid code name or code number. So you have to get into the configuration files and process this. But once you do, then when somebody says, oh, I've written a program, here's your Pastebin ID, then you can load it into. Now had that worked, then somewhere in our file structure would now be a test thing. But that doesn't work because the API comes, the HTTP rather, API is not enabled by default. So you need another method. And so basically you need a way to load a file from your computer and have it type it into the window. And that's a program called CCcopy. Let me pull that up for you and we'll show that off. Okay, computers and turtles in Feed the Beast are from the ComputerCraft mod. You can go to the ComputerCraft website, computercraft.info, I think. They have a lot of information, a complete wiki, and a set of forums. And I found this CCcopy program in the forums. I was searching, I think, for auto typer because I wanted something that would automatically type in programs for me, and I found CCcopy. And there are other programs that do the same thing. This is the one I'm used to, so this is the one we're going to explain here. Now, exactly where your files are saved depends on a great number of things. Whether you're just installed ComputerCraft into MindCraft, where you're running Feed the Beast, or the Tekkit mod packs, perhaps where you're running something different. So, and of course it depends on where you stuck the Feed the Beast launcher when you wanted to install things. Now I have installed mine in my MindCraft directory. Since I'm using the MindCrack mod pack, it created a MindCrack directory. Then we have MindCraft /save /Feed the Beast MindCrack, which is the name of my single player world. Then computer, and then we have a list of all the computers in the game. And since we were working on computer with ID 10, you can see that I have that highlighted here. And if we open up that directory, we see that we have a single file blank in the computer 10 directory. Remember again, when we typed in the ID, it said this is computer 10. So we know that any files we create for that computer or that turtle's just a computer with legs, will be in directory 10. But since all the programming development I'm due in computer 0 because that's my nephew, my very first turtle I created in this map, I'm going to confuse you by going over here to computer 0, where you can see I have downloaded and copied the cccopy.exe program, and it also had a readme.txt there that I forgot about, and that's the program we're going to use to copy these programs here in this directory over to the server, into the computer in Minecraft. Now first we have to create the program, and we already created one, but let me show you how I do it when I'm not doing tutorials for you. And here we have a program called Notepad++. You can use regular Notepad or WordPad or any text editor or word processor that will save files as a plain text file without any fancy formatting. That's why I use Notepad++. It works pretty good. But anyway, I like to make the program here, save it into Turtle 0, and then run the cccopy program like so. Okay, here is your basic Windows command prompt. You can get this by typing something like Windows R to run and type in command CMD, or you can right click by holding Shift, I think, and if you have the proper authorization you can open up a command window here, I think is the option. But this is where we are. This is the app data, roaming, Minecraft, saves, Feed the Beast MindCrack, computer 0 directory, and that is where we have copied the files we need that we're going to be moving to our Minecraft computer, and so that's where you need to be to run this program. And this is the same directory structure we showed before, except this time was inside the command line and not in a window. Just need to make sure that the program you're trying to copy is there and that the cc.copy.exe is there. Now if you just type cccopy with no parameters or anything, it gives you a little help screen that tells you how to use it. But basically you're going to type in cccopy -window, and as you see down here, my window is MindCrack Pack V7. That's the window name at the top of the program bar that your Minecraft Feed the Beast or Minecraft Tekkit or whatever shows when you run the program. So you're going to tell it, because you're telling it which window to type into, you're going to tell it, in this case, MindCrack Pack V7. Now the T is a interval. It's a delay in milliseconds between each key press that this program is simulating sending into Minecraft. And if you set that too short, you'll miss the some of the key presses and you'll have typing errors in your program. But if you set it too long, then it'll take forever to copy the program over. So, you know, set that wisely. I think T about 15 works for me. And finally, the -S, the start parameter, is how much time in milliseconds between when you hit enter on this command line and it starts typing. And I put something huge like 5,000, 10,000 in there for 5 or 10 seconds. So I have plenty of time to make sure I've clicked over to the MindCrack Pack V7 window, even though it switches over automatically. I make sure to open that up and click on it myself to make sure I am there and that the key presses are going to go where they're going to go, because I sent the key presses to an email I was writing one time and I want to make sure. Actually, I changed the parameters so you can see this thing in action. This thing loaded up the editor all by itself, and now it is typing in the program all by itself. And now if we type list, we now have our XX test XX. And if we edit XX test XX, and there it is. This is a test. We can make our changes, save, whatever. Now let's do a longer, more complicated example. Let's say, for example, we had a longer program. Let's say my branch miner program. We wanted to put it in here. Now that thing's like 200 lines long. We do not want to do that manually. So we'll do the same thing, but instead of saying our test file, we'll say brancher. So here's what the command line would look like if we're going to send the program brancher. Again, about 50 milliseconds between each key press. I've tried it as low as 15, that works. And giving us 10,000 milliseconds or 10 seconds to make sure we've switched over to the proper window and that we are ready to type before the typing starts. Alright, I've pushed the button. I told it to give me 10 seconds. Here we go. So now, as you can see, it is typing in this very long, very complicated program, which I've covered in a previous episode. Hopefully that episode will get uploaded and created before this one does. Now, while you're doing this, I've given it a pretty long delay, I think 50 milliseconds between each key press. Depending on how much lag you've got in the server and how much delay you have, you may want to set that higher or lower. I think I used 15, and of course the 10-second delay at the start. Can't really, you just have to play with it. I'd play with it on a server where they know you and trust you, instead, because you can really mess things up if you're not careful with these turtle scripts. And I can see here that some of the indentation is messed up. I believe this typing program doesn't handle tabs properly, so you may want to replace all your tabs with spaces or something. And as this stuff is scrolling up, I am seeing things that I meant to change and haven't. And I'll probably need to do that. But I do all my editing, developing, etc. On the single player versions, because I can just locate the file, open it up with Notepad++, make the changes, save the file, switch back over to MindCrack, Feed the Beast, and test it. And then only when it's finished do I upload it to the real world. Now the exception to that is being when I create a small almost trivial program, then I might edit that in the in-game editor. The problem with that is I do not know how to get stuff from the server where I've created a turtle file back to my computer where I can change it later and upload it to a different server or something. So probably want to do all your developing with Notepad++ or some similar editing tool. Plain old Notepad will work. Do it on the single player and then upload it to your server later. If they teach classes in Lua, and I'm sure they do at computer colleges or something, I'm sure right now somebody is throwing a book at the screen. But as you can see, CC copy, I guess that stands for ComputerCraft copy, is typing in my thing to the Minecraft window. Let's assume that worked and he made it. I don't know why that strikes me as funny, but I just typed in there, let's assume it worked. He comes back, drops the, okay, and now we're finished. And now if we type list or dir, your preference, we've got brancher is now part of this turtle. Edit brancher, and there is all the stuff we just typed, or CC copy just typed for us. Alright, so that is how you get a program, how you edit a program, save your changes, how you load up a disk drive and copy things to and from the disk. There's our blank file we created earlier. And that's how you use CC copy or some similar program to copy things from your computer into the ComputerCraft turtle computer here. And I hope that answers all your questions. Like I said, ideally you're supposed to use the pastebin command, but that requires the HTTP program, which does not come standard enabled on ComputerCraft. So, and if you can't find your file that you're trying to create, you can't find, well, where is the directory on my computer in my single player where these programs are stored? Where would I find this turtle's, this XX test or whatever? Well, what you can do is you can say edit and then give it a unique file name, or not actually a unique file name, but something. Create that program, save it, and then just do a Windows search for unique file name, whatever you named it, and that will eventually you'll find your turtle program directory using that method, and then just create a shortcut to your desktop or something so you can find it later. Copy CC copy in that same directory, and you can use the method I've shown here to copy your files to your turtle online, and hopefully that will work. And If it doesn't copy, if it looks like it's missing characters, we'll try using a longer delay. If you don't have time to flip up back to your MindCrack, Feed the Beast, or whatever window before it starts typing, just use a longer startup delay. And of course, be sure that the turtle is open and receptive, and that you've clicked inside the turtle just to make sure that the focus from Windows or Linux or whatever is in here, so that things that get typed go in here. There are other versions of programs similar to this for Linux and other systems. I use Windows. Oh, it galls me to say that, but I use Windows, so that's what I'm used to. So if you want to know how to do this with a Linux install or a Mac install, you'll have to ask somebody else. Alright, I think that is everything. So now you know how to do basic turtle programming. Like I said, be sure to create, when you create the turtle, immediately name it, give it with the old ID command, immediately fuel it. So if you try to move, it has fuel, because a lot of programs will fail if the computer doesn't have movement points. Even the ones that say they will fuel themselves may fail before, if they try to move before they call that refuel function. Make sure if you want the computer to dig, that you give it a pickaxe or an axe or whatever. Like I said, currently the tools do not have durability, and that pickaxe will last forever. But suppose that's going to be added in a newer version, and I'll probably hate that and disable it if I can. Make sure to copy your programs to a disk so you can move them around between turtles and computers on the server, and make sure to test your programs and write them in single player version so that you have a copy offline that you can upload to the turtles and move from server to server. And I hope that is everything. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. But really, you'd be better off going to the ComputerCraft website, read their wiki, read their forums, and they will be able to explain things much better than me. Alright, this is Uncle Troy signing out. Please have a good night.